online course?
Well, I personally believe the university degrees still play a very important role. But indeed, going forward, I guess the online education will be a very big part as well. And apparently, those things that some topic that you're talking about from school, that's all about the research topic from the university. It's not necessary. It's a course in the university. So as a student, even a graduate student, they may not able to involve those things that we are talking about today. Talk about AI, it's about, I would say, maybe 30 years ago. When I was in school, we also learned something about AI. But there's no use case. There's no application there. And today, a lot of things that you can use it only because the use case appear. So we know how to do it when you really working in the community, not in the school. So I would say, yes, the online education or say MOOC is definitely a trend. And I believe that things can be built up based on blockchain technology as well, using the token economy to drive that to going forward.
I'm going to put you on the spot just like I did them. You're an investment company, you make a lot of investments. If you've got two people sitting next to you, both pitching a business idea to you, one of them is a PhD, and one of them has done 10 online courses in AI and blockchain. Which one would you be more inclined to invest in? And how can I change your perception?
You know, it's not comparable. It really depends on our demand. Okay, it really depends on our demand. If we like somebody to do some basic research about the industry, maybe we need something from PhD, I would say. But if we like someone to have some hands-on stuff, and you know how to deal with the deal, how to negotiate with the project, maybe we like someone with some experience. So it really depends.
Now, how can we change the perception of hiring managers? What can we do to change the perception of hiring managers to make these online courses, we all agree are the future? What can we do to change habits in traditional industries like finance, like journalism, like every other industry, so that people find online and self-taught courses much more acceptable?
I think one of the exciting things is that we don't need to change perceptions of hiring managers. I think there's a statistic in the US, something like 20% of people under the age of 25 believe that they will not get a real job at a big company. Right? 20% of these young people believe that they will make their living through as a freelancer, working for a platform like Phoenix, like Red Pulse. And these people are learning all sorts of different skills. I mean, the simplest is becoming an Uber driver, becoming a chef on whatever platform they have now in the US. But now there are platforms like Red Pulse. There are platforms where you can also rent your engineering expertise and do blockchain development and so on and so forth. And this is where hiring managers, it doesn't matter what their opinion is. And so people are learning these skills online, and they're going to platforms like Red Pulse. They're going to platforms like, we have a platform where you can get outsourcing jobs and freelancing jobs. But this is where the future is. And this is where more and more and more young people now believe that their career is going. And this is really changing the way that we think about work.
So we have a new generation of workers going out there. You can call them whatever you want, Generation Y, Generation Crazy, call them whatever you like. Can we segment that generation into two parts? Can we segment that generation into entrepreneurs, be they micro-entrepreneurs or macro-entrepreneurs, and then traditional workers? Is that maybe a good segmentation? And say that the micro or macro-entrepreneurs are probably more suited for the non-formal education system, whereas there are some who want to go and work in traditional jobs, and those ones may be more suitable for traditional education system.
I'll leave Robert to answer the education question, but I was just going to add to what you were saying. It kind of links to your latest question, that we don't need to change actually the perception of hiring managers about which candidate is better, because in the end, it's about the results. It's about who can actually perform and deliver, right? And so it's really a question of, what type of education programs or systems actually produce the type of people that can perform in the economy of tomorrow, of the new economy of tomorrow. And the hiring managers, if they get it wrong, they will be out of a job themselves. So by definition, they will have to be learning how to choose the right ones. And back to the last question you just posed. So in that sense, the question is, do universities produce entrepreneurs? Right? We kind of know they don't, right? Rather than having people that have proven themselves over and over again, starting businesses and failing and starting and failing. So who will produce the results? And actually would answer the question.
Now, before you pass the microphone, I think just take the microphone back, because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to run away from my next question. So can you see the hiring manager at IBM who's working on the new Watson project? He has 2 candidates in front of him. His job is to minimize risk. He says, I want to make sure that no one comes back to me ever and says, you hired the wrong person. If you were hiring someone to work on Watson and you were the IBM hiring manager, do you really think that you would have the courage to hire a non-formal degree person who had done online courses, and you'd have the conviction to stand in front of your boss and say, I hired the person who was more suitable for the job?
Well, I will say that the way hiring practices will likely be done for this type of projects going forward would itself not be the same anymore. So you're not going to have a decision made by a single hiring manager and that person having to decide which one it is. The nature of hiring itself would probably also start to evolve, where there is maybe a concept of a proof of work even, right? Like you get a few candidates, you give them some trial experiment projects or whatever, and see who comes up with the, kind of the best way of thinking around it. And that becomes another evidence that the hiring manager can hide behind, right? Like, see, we have a trial and the PhD guy just flopped it, and so you can't blame me if the PhD guy is not hired.
Richard, I'm going to hand this over to you. I'm going to come back to you. What do you think? Do you think that if you were the hiring manager at IBM, you would have the guts to hire the person that did the online courses?
Well, to be honest, the answer is no. I would say for those people, they are outliner, okay? They are outliner, they are not finished their education in the school. Well, they can be entrepreneur. And I would want to say that actually we have an offline, we call Draper University. We try to help out to inspire the entrepreneurship of each individual if they do have that potential. It's not something that you can teach in school, I would say, okay?
Now, we used to live in a world where when you spoke about being an entrepreneur, you spoke about taking a very big risk. Because you spoke about this very scary thing which was called the J curve, which is that all businesses go down and then turn around, and then maybe some of them, if they're lucky, go up, and you guys as investors know this. But in this new sharing economy, we've created a new type of entrepreneurship where there's actually no J curve. For a person who wants to contribute to a Red Pulse, there's no J curve. They wake up one morning and they can write articles and do some research and contribute. For someone who wants to drive an Uber, I think you used that example, there's no more J curve. There's not much time and there's not much investment. You download an app, you do a very simple test, and you become an entrepreneur. And the question I ask you again is, have we created a world where becoming an entrepreneur is that much easier? And university degrees are creating great job employees, whereas online courses and access to online applications is creating a new world of entrepreneurs. Can we segment it like that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So first of all, the IBM Watson question, our AI course is actually built with IBM Watson, with actual projects from IBM Watson in the course. So the student graduates from the course, proves that they can complete projects from IBM Watson, and IBM Watson can hire them. And this is something that we're actually exploring with Red Pulse to help them train financial analysts that would later go on to Phoenix and Red Pulse. But to answer your question directly, I think, yes, I think the world is moving faster and faster and faster and faster. Right? There's not as much time for you. If you went into a college program and spent 4 years there, the opportunity that you see today will probably be gone by the time you graduate. And so online education, what it does is that it offers those people who take the risk to say, okay, I'm not going to go into that 4-year, 2-year, 3-year program and say, I'm going to learn this for 3 months and then I'm going to jump on that curve, as you said.
Does that make the J curve a lot shorter? I mean, in traditional businesses, the J curve used to be 12, 18, 24 months before they knew if they were going to turn. You're talking about 3.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, what we see from our students is that they join one of our courses, 3 months. I mean, it depends on their background. So, we had a student who was 46. She had 2 kids. They were programmed in her life. She came to us. She learned how to program. She learned deep learning. She learned self-driving car. And now she works as a computer vision engineer at Alibaba. Self-driving course.
When she left your course, what did she have in her hand? Did she have a degree? Did she have a diploma?
Yes,
What
from
was
us, it was 3 courses. Each course took 3 months, and it was, we call them nano degree certificates. And so she comes out, she has 3 certificates now. She goes to Alibaba and says, here are my 3 certificates. And she gets an interview, and she gets a job.
Richard, over to you. Do you think we're creating a world where we are fostering new entrepreneurs much quicker?
Yes, well, first of all,